So ale changed the color of our flag from Tim Hilton is your first choice. Now we are going to hear from Chris Anderson.
Ah, yes. It is that lovely weekend where we recognize the birth of our nation by celebrating in that true American fashion. You guys know what I'm talking about. Eating a shit ton of food, drinking way too much, and blowing shit up. Come on, who doesn't like fireworks? As my buddy Jim Gaffigan, if you guys didn't know, I'm friends with Jim Gaffigan. You can look it up on Twitter. Probably not, it's not there. As he said, I don't usually eat a burger, a brat, and a steak, but it is the 4th of July. It's what our founding fathers would have intended. However, maybe all this reveling and debauchery are truly ingrained in our American roots after all. Take the Star-Spangled Banner for one instance. Francis Scott Key was not primarily a poet. He was a lawyer that was on a British ship as part of a U.S. delegation to negotiate a prisoner release. That doesn't sound fun. A ship that was witness to the British bombardment of Fort McHenry in Maryland in 1814. Was anybody there? Anyone? In the back? No? Okay. So inspired was Key over the battle he spied, he wrote a poem he titled Defense of Fort McHenry. A poem that became so popular he later drafted it into a splendid song that would become the Star-Spangled Banner. However, Francis Scott Key was no songwriter. He kind of sucked. Needing a catchy tune to highlight his prose, Key chose the popular British drinking song titled To Anachron in Heaven as the melody to sing his song. To Anachron in Heaven was the song of the Anachronotic Club, a club made up of a group of wealthy men who like to eat a lot, party a lot, and sing songs about booze and sex. That's right. I said sex.
We're starting the Anachronotic party here in Mountain Lakes next week.
Pick me.
I was going to say it sounds like our mug club.
I'm so excited about the sex and booze. Can't get over it. All right, back to it. So maybe we're not off. Sorry. So maybe we're not so off the mark with this 4th of July thing. Drink some beer, guys. Everybody toast. Eat a shit ton of food, because it's good. Heck, go make whoopee under the light of the fireworks. Screw your partner under blasting noises. That'll be fun. It's what our founding fathers would have wanted to do.
All right, our national anthem. Our national anthem is a beer drinking song from Chris Anderson is your second choice. Your last story comes from Dave Basaraba.
The Liberty Bell. The Liberty Bell. Is that me? Is that me? Check. Sorry, I got a little bit of feedback. We'll edit this all out. I know the guy who does it. It's me. The Liberty Bell. It's an iconic symbol. It is a representation of American independence. It once rang in the steeple of the Pennsylvania State House, and it once held 3 full barrels of Liberty Ale.
Is that true?
That's what we're trying to figure out.
That's the game.
Dave, the game is called Bluff the Drinker. It's like we're going to find out.
It's a 50-50 shot.
Yeah. Okay.
Liberty Ale's from the West Coast. I just want to say that.
Yeah.
Stories have it that the Liberty Bell rang out loud on July 4th, 1776, to mark the signing of the U.S. Declaration of Independence. More likely, it was on July 8th for the reading of the Declaration. Or maybe it wasn't rung at all. There are so many myths and unknowns about this bell, so many that the most interesting fact about the Liberty Bell has laid dormant for over 100 years. Until now. Scott Marshall is a beer historian who came across an interesting account about the bell. It is believed the crack formed sometime during the early 19th century. He discovered a journal written by Marcus Smith, a man who helped transport the bell from New York City back to Philadelphia during an extremely cold winter in 1834. As you recall, 1834 was extremely cold.
It was so cold. How cold was it?
Dees?
We'll edit that out too.
It was so cold, Chris, that according to Smith's Journal, due to the cold, the group was laid up for a number of days in Trenton, New Jersey, home of Liberty Brewing Company. Supplied with 3 barrels of beer from Liberty, the group decided to pour the warm kegs into the ice-cold bell, which inverted to secure the clapper for safe travel in hopes that the beer would be chilled quickly. Unfortunately, warm beer into a cold bell produced an extremely large crack, spilling the Liberty beer. The group fittingly dubbed the poor drinking vessel the Liberty Bell. Marshall is currently having residue from the bell analyzed in hopes of proving his theory. The naming of the Liberty Bell will soon ring true, said Marshall.
All right. 3 stories to choose from. The Liberty Bell was named after beer from Dave Basaraba is your third. So here are your choices. Julie, you've got Ale Change the Color of Our Flag from Tim Hilton. You've got Our National Anthem is a beer drinking song from Chris Anderson. And you've got The Liberty Bell was named after beer from Dave Basaraba. Which story do you choose?
Julie, as your bartender, have I ever lied to you?
Yes.
As not your bartender, have I ever lied to you?
Perhaps not.
If you had warm beer in a cold bell, what would you do? Corey, shut it. It's okay. No, we encourage audience participation, but
What do people think?
I do wish that they were all 3 true because, I mean, that's amazing.
it's pretty good stories.
But really, I'm going to go with Chris because those other 2 guys lie to me
Wait,
all the time.
All right, so you're saying
Tipsy Ross was a whore.
you're saying
Dave and Tim lie to me all the time, so I'm going to go with Chris.
so you're thinking that Our National Anthem is a beer drinking song from Chris Anderson is correct?
Yes.
That is correct. Congratulations, Julie. You got it right.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Thanks for playing. That wraps up the second part of our show. We'll now take a break and be back in a few with our special guest, Kevin Brockbank and Not My Beer.
A few songs of harmony sent a petition.
Hello and welcome back to Downtown Spokane, Washington at the Brewhouse Stage at Mountain Lakes Brewing Company. We're playing Wheat, Don't Tell Me, the monthly live beer quiz show. It's time for Not My Beer with your host, Chris Sindrick.
All right, and now the game where we ask important people who drink beer questions about beer that their local craft brewer may not even know, just to win an audience member some free beer. It's called Not My Beer.
I'll know, Chris, because you wrote it in the script.
That's right. Tonight's guest is the president of Spokane Community College, a provider of talented individuals throughout the region. He was raised in Montana and has worked at a number of higher ed institutions, including Helena College, Missoula College, and Salt Lake Community College in Utah. He, his wife, and son moved to Spokane in 2015, and he has been the SCC president since 2017. While in Montana, Kevin guided whitewater rafting trips in Glacier for 13 summers. He still enjoys the outdoors as well as the adventure theme of Mountain Lakes Brewing Company. Please welcome tonight's Not My Beer guest, SCC president and longtime Metallica fan, Kevin Brockbank.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks for having
Hey,
me.
you bet. Welcome, Kevin. It's great to have you on the show. So first question. So what I want to be when I grow up is the president of a community college in Spokane, Washington. Tell us a little bit about how you got to your current position.
Said nobody ever, right?
Maybe.
Well, clearly, you know, my history there tells you that the path to being a college president is a professional career in raft guiding.
Definitely.
And that's how I got started.
Yeah, that should be any priority. For
Absolutely.
13 summers.
Yep.
Tell us about raft guiding.
You know, honestly, I was a college student. I got a job guiding raft trips in Glacier Park, and then that transitioned into being a faculty member at a 2-year college in Helena, which is my hometown, and things progressed from there. I had a great time being a faculty member, but just continued to progress up through the ranks. And at some point, looked around and told my wife I wanted to be a college president, and she rolled her eyes at me, and but was still supportive and kind of moved through a couple different progressions and have been super fortunate to find the perfect job and the perfect opportunity here in Spokane.
Well, that's awesome. It's great. And you've been here for about 3 years?
About 4.
4 years.
Yep.
What do you think about Spokane, Washington?
I love Spokane, and knew Spokane a lot. Growing up in Montana, Spokane was the big city away from Helena. Although when I was younger, we knew Spokane as a place where you pulled over off the interstate to get gas in a scary neighborhood.
Right, like Spokompton kind of.
Getting a little better. But my sisters went to Gonzaga, so I was real familiar with it. And being able to move back here from Salt Lake and find kind of the destination has been a total, just an unexpected gift. Honestly.
That's great. So what do you see potential? Like what are some promising qualities of this region that you get excited about being a president of a local?
Well, I think we all see it. Spokane's a great place to live. Downtown's vibrant and growing, and community, the population's growing, and the industry's out of this world right now. And being the president of a college that provides a workforce for that area has been just a super great place to be in, with a community that's super supportive of that effort. I just think we live in one of the best places in the Northwest, if not the best place.
Right, that's awesome, yeah. So along with that, though, I know that many institutions, I work at Eastern Washington, we face different challenges.
Go Grizz.
Yay! Go. Oh, did you say
He said
Grizz?
go Grizz?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Kevin Brucker. Thank you for being here. Our time is over. It was great. Now let's hear from our musical guest. Oh, I'm kidding.
All right.
What are some biggest challenges that SEC is facing in 2019 and into the future of higher education?
I think, honestly, I think one of the things we face is just doing the best job we can to provide as many really skilled labor individuals to our local employers. It's hard sometimes when there's opportunities for everybody out there to do work without going to college, but there are so many great opportunities for somebody who comes to college right now and does a 2-year program to get into a career that'll last them for 30 years at really high wages. And so we're in a great opportunity. So there's some challenges, but there's just, on the same side, there's just as many great things happening as well.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
One of the things we found is that our sales drop off during finals week.
Oh.
We're wondering if you could cancel finals at the college.
Yeah.
Whatever you need, Tim.
Thank you.
Well, that was easy, eh?
Yeah, well, okay.
Easy sell.
So
once
anyone
again, thanks for
listening to the
coming.
podcast at SEC, that your finals
more
are
finals.
canceled.
So many people don't know, but you are a huge Metallica fan.
Yep.
What folks may not know is that SEC received a $100,000 donation from Metallica through the band's charitable foundation, All Within My Hands. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I am a Metallica fan. It's my favorite band, and I was sitting in a hotel room in Seattle one day and got an email that said there was a grant for Metallica Scholars grant, which are 2 words you never think you're going to hear associated together, right? So clearly I thought it was a joke at first, and I took a second to figure it out and think, man, this is for real. And then my next thought was, we're getting this. It doesn't matter what it takes. We're going to get it. But the cool thing about that grant and Metallica is they started a foundation 2 years ago that was based on food insecurities. When they played here in December, they donated money to Second Harvest. But then they've made a pivot to also include trying to raise the profile of career and technical ed careers, and trying to figure out how we get more people interested in jobs like IT and allied health and manufacturing, and letting kids and returning adults know, hey, these are great places to go to work. And that's come directly from the band, and we had the opportunity to work with them, and it's been really, really awesome. It's just been super fun.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's such a unique thing, right?
Yeah, and and it's been super fun for our college to promote that as well. I've got a Metallica website on our webpage. I got a Metallica billboard. If I wasn't young, I would retire this year right after I got that.
So I guess there's only one last thing to do is, could you sing us a verse from your favorite Metallica song?
No chance.
Please, Unforgiven.
I don't sing in the show.
Something.
Will there be a chance of a concert at SEC with Metallica?
I'm super. I am
you know.
super working on it, Chris, and I am shameless in trying to get the band to come here.
Yes.
Okay, we'll just
Good work,
stay in
Kevin.
touch.
You're all invited.
Well,
All right.
welcome, Kevin. We have invited you here tonight.